Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Good morning. Excuse me. How are you? How are you? I'm adding my last few pins to my darts because I had only marked my back. Here we go. I think this is going to be my first step too, man. There's just too many. And I'm sure there's other ways to mark your darts and stuff, but kind of traditional about this. I just use pins. So let's see. How are you? Happy Thursday. I know there's a lot of Friday fans out there. You're almost there. There's so many. Look at this. It's like 8 pins just on the front for the two darts at the waist. And then I think there's 8, 10, there's 12 on the back. Something like that. I could be wrong about that. Just a second, sorry. Let me just finish this. I have to do the invisible zipper first, so I think I'm gonna get these done first. Get these out of the way. Oh my goodness, there you all are. How's it going? Hey Michelle, hey Fiona. Hey Terry, Hannah, Margaret, Aisha, Delwyn, Libby, Amy, Danny. Wow, thanks for all saying hi. I've seen these funny memes where like people are like that are streamers, and they just say, you know, it just means so much to a streamer when people say hi, and it really does. Just letting you know that they're there, you know, it's like, okay, I'm not just talking to myself. All right, what's this one here? I can't separate these without all these pins here. I used my my chunky pins for all the darts, which are those little short yellow ones. I like the circumference of those, like the thickness of those pins, these little guys. These are my favorite. These magic pins. They're thicker than these. I would like one that's this thick, but this long without the top. Like if the whole thing was this long, that would be my ideal pin, I think. I'm just a pin designer now. Hey Viddy, hi RG, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. All right, let me see, did I get them all? Did I get them all? So it's a little hard to tell the right from the wrong side of this fabric. The best place I'm finding is in the print of the tulips here. This burgundy color, that's where I can see it. And sometimes right here, like, you see a tiny bit away. Oof. I toned down the brightness of the camera, but boy, this fabric is kind of dark, isn't it? All right. I haven't sewn yet either. Let's test out. I changed to the smallest needle I have. Well, is that true? I actually was going to check. Do I have a size 12? I put a size 14 in. I kind of want to check. What is this right here? Oh, I do have a size 12. We're going to do it. We're going to switch to a size 12. I tend to sew with a pretty gigantic needle. My needles are usually a size 16 that you see me use. And that's just because I'm really comfortable with it. It is easier to thread, but that's not why I do it. It's just something I'm really comfortable with. My old machine was calibrated for a 16, and I used a 16 and an 18 most of the time. So I have a lot of those needles too, but right now I actually have a lot of everything. So let's put in a 12. This is my little random pin container. You know, I really want to mark on here that this is my open package. So we're going to do this. Because I only see them from the top, and I feel like I take a pin out of one out of every package. I could never give away my pins because I'd be like, here's all these pins. And they'd be like, you just gave me one pin. Because I probably have taken them out of the package. So look at how nice and organized my little drawer is. I like the thicker pins because they stay in the fabric. The thinner ones just fall right out. Yeah, me too, Libby. I think it'll be nice though, like in the thumbnail. That's a very thin, you know, sheer fabric. And it looks beautiful in that. A lot of people don't like the thick pins though, Viddy. Like most people don't. And I feel like maybe that's just, you know, they're better than me. But I feel like the thinner the pin, it just ejects it out of the fabric, you know? So my go-to pin, the one I always grab are these. So these are like, you can get a box of, I don't know, like 500. They're quilting pins. The only reason I grab these is because they're thicker. They're thick like these little yellow ones. And the only reason I grab these is because it's easy to grab a ball. The magic pins, while I really like how, I can really kind of get nerdy about the pins. Hey Marlies, how's it going? Welcome. Hi Janet, I didn't say hi to you. So I have noticed that when you're holding the magic pin, that's the brand. What's nice is your fingers are completely on the pin, right? So like I'm moving my fingers, but nothing happens. If you're holding this and you move your fingers, see it can roll around and it falls out. Like you ever drop pins a lot? I think that's probably that because of the ball, you know? But it's really easy to grab from your pin cushion. I don't use a magnet, and I don't like using a magnet, but it's fine. Most people do, and that's totally fine. That's just a preference. These are a little long, but they're for quilters. So this is my go-to that I grab a lot because it's easy to grab the ball, right? But I'm always digging for these little guys, and they just get kind of buried down there because they're shorter. You know, my pin cushion's a little bit crazy right now. I don't ever grab these. These are these double-pronged ones. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of off the camera. You could have told me that. It's your fault. These double-pronged ones, I sometimes have grabbed them, but you know what happens is when you start to poke them in, they go like this sometimes. They push together. Why is my camera so like, is it zoomed in? Is that what's going on there? Maybe it's because I have the sponsor thing. Maybe I'm just off center. I'm right here. This is where I am. But then you don't need to see the whole head of my machine, you know? Right, Libby? It's so true. So true. I love the diameter of these decorative pins the most. They're like T-pins. They're so thick. I can barely push them in sometimes. So yeah. Oh, look at that. It's sticking to my... I have a magnet on the bottom though to hold it on my table. My favorite thread for the thinner fabric. Oh, I am not a thread nerd. I will admit that. I use whatever I have, but it's usually, like for something this thin, I'm going to use my Tex 27 thread. I don't know a whole lot about thread. I probably sound like I do because I know a lot about the ones I've used, but I actually don't know a whole lot about the thread world. I'm just using a maxi lock, just for me a pretty generic thread, just a maxi lock cone. It's Tex 27, it says so in there. And did I go the right way? There I did. Yeah. But usually when I'm using that size 16 needle, I don't use that small of a thread. I use a Tex 40. But when you get into the world of like the top stitching threads, like these, not this. Let's see if these, do these say anything on them? So like, so when I was at the fabric store once, in the embroidery area, they have those beautiful displays of the, I think this is the Aurifil, right? Or this is Mara. It's by Gutermann. I get this now for top stitching thread because you can get all these great colors, right? I have like a bright green and a coral and everything. And these, the smaller the number, the thicker it is. So this one right here, what is this one again? I think 30 is the weight, but and like this one here is 100. So, and it's much thinner. So I don't know why there are these two thread classes where the bigger the number is, the bigger the weight of the thread, and then the opposite in like these. So I'm really sorry I don't know about that. This one also, this is like quilting thread. I used to get this in place of top stitch thread because I just didn't carry it. This is 100% quilt, the cotton right here. So I don't know. You just got some that shreds. So one of the things that I did used to pay attention to was how much fuzz the thread adds, creates. So I had to stop using one brand because it was just too fuzzy. It was too fuzzy and it was hard to thread, and it just was not doing good. So I switched brands. But that was when I had a factory and we were buying like a lot of thread. So not as much as you think though. And I didn't get wholesale. You don't get wholesale of thread ever. So anyway, there is a lot of information out there about, yeah, polyester, cotton wrapped, you know, stuff like that. One thing I really learned though is if you're doing anything that goes in the microwave, make sure it's cotton. So anyway, and I also learned, like when I would sew on silk, I sewed these silk things once, and I had to use a much finer needle, size 8. It's the smallest needle I've ever used. And the thread I had to get was much smaller because nothing else would fit through the eye of the needle. Problem with that is silk is really strong and it can break your needle really easily, so you got to be really careful with that. But because it's so strong, it's such a strong fiber to sew, you need a smaller needle to pierce it. It's kind of a weird conundrum. So if you're doing a lot of French seams and junctures of French seams, you're kind of in for some careful sewing. So yeah, the low fuzz is better, I think, for sure. Yeah, the linty, exactly, yeah. Yeah, it was like, we were just getting a lot of fuzz right here. And so this is the top of my needle here, and it would get oily. And that clump of like fluff of thread fuzz, that oily clump, it sometimes would touch our product, you know, so Sorry, it's not a very clear answer, Viddy. I think it just depends on the project. I think if you get into like the heavier duty stuff, like Sailrite, which is a website that sells a lot of stuff for people making outdoor stuff, especially outdoor furniture type stuff, sails, you know, for boats and outdoor furniture. So it's marine grade, meaning it's got some like weather resistance. They have a lot of really good information on their site about thread. It's really fascinating to read. So anyway, why is there a random pin there? Did I set that there? I hope I didn't need that. I'm going to do these little darts right now. Get all these pins off this before we do the invisible zip. Oof. These small, I feel very awkward right now. Hi, Walter. Nice to see you. You've been busy? How's work going? Okay. Why do I feel so awkward right now? Am I doing this wrong? I notched the bottom here because it showed to stop like right here, but it was still far apart. Like it wasn't at a point. So, oh, I haven't sewn yet. I really do need to like check because I've been doing a lot of top stitch thread. That looks okay. I'm going to brighten it up for you guys too. It's a little dark, huh? Hi, Katya. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Hi, Rebecca. Silk is so strong that you can construct non-silk fabric with silk thread. It can actually eat. Oh, I totally believe that. Completely believe that. Yeah, it's funny how people have this perception of silk as being this like very soft, weak, you know, flimsy. I don't think they realize they think it, that they're thinking of it that way until you say how strong silk is. Definitely not for the faint of heart to sew. Nice, Walter. Nice. One more week of craziness. We can handle that. I say because I don't have to handle it. You know, one thing I don't like about nipping into the fabric, which it wasn't like that in the pattern, is when I do my back stitch. It's not a good spot for the back stitch, you know. All right, so we have this. Let's brighten it up a tiny bit. Hey, Penny Pinch, how's it going? It's giving you the heebie-jeebies. I think it's beautiful. I love the way it looks. I think I toned down the brightness because, okay, so my current obsession about my video setup is the quality of the video. I want it to be better. Like I want there to be more sharpness. So I turned up my sharpness way up today, and then I was like, look at how terrible my hands look. I'm not wrinkled like that. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll tone down the brightness. And then I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So I was looking at cameras today, and it sounds like I already have as good as I can get. So there's that. Unless I went the DSLR route, which I'm pretty sure I can't do as a webcam. I can, but then we're talking like a $700 camera probably. And a new computer because of the processing power. Things I don't know much about. All right. Oh, I'm really hot right now. I'm even feeling like I'm getting flushed. I was going to take this sweatshirt off, but I wanted to show you guys. I made the new Wardrobe by Me sweatshirt recently. I'm wearing it. Wait, what is going on here? I am through another layer. I can feel it. There we go. Yeah, but I've taken pictures of the sweatshirt, but I haven't shown it yet, but I wanted to show you guys. Hopefully my microphone works on the full screen. Let's see. So it's just a simple sweatshirt. I think I did the, how do you say your name? Situi? So this is the sweatshirt that just came out. I have it like all the sleeves up. It has the collar, zip collar. What would I want to say about this? Size down. That's what I want to say about it. I did a full size down, but you might want to lengthen it because I feel like this is just the perfect length. So if you're doing that kind of sweatshirt, if you want that sweatshirt look, but this is a whole size down. There's a lot of ease. Stand-up collar, zipper, and the zipper. I want to say zipper garage, but it's more like a zipper stop. I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. Oops. All right. Yeah, it's very cozy. The other thing about it is that it's a very full pattern, and my rib, while it's a nice rib, it's not the most stretchy. It's like a traditional 1x1, and it was hard for me to stretch the cuffs and the bottom to fit the fullness of the sweatshirt. So that's another thing I would say is if your rib isn't very stretchy, you're going to need to make sure you stay on top of it when you're putting it on. Because I almost ran out. I was like, oh. Oh, it's Wardrobe by Me. It's the one with the zip that just came out. Yeah. Is this one just, oh, these are pinned. Oh my goodness, I almost unpinned that. All right, let's get these done. Sorry, I'm lollygagging. Is the vibration a little lower? You want it to play hooky, but you can't. All right, so now we have these little pleats. See that? Release tucks. What's wrong with lollygagging? What else would you say? I don't understand. You guys are gonna give me a hard time about my latest antique word. All right, so these are actually, ouch, upside down darts. So there's a point here. I've never seen this before. This is kind of interesting. So we're going to basically sew an upside down dart. Would I consider hand tying in this situation? I mean, no, because it's in the hem, right? I'm just trying to get the pin straight in and out, right? Like directly, the holes directly on top of each other when I try and pin it. Probably doesn't look like that. These are kind of short too, but I kind of pull it down. There we go. One more. Yeah, I know, Rebecca. You're Danish? That's great. Yeah, she's awesome. Christina is her name. We found out that we actually were going to fashion school at the exact same time, and she was living in California, and so was I. And she worked in the garment industry, and I think it was her husband who worked at the same company my friend did at the same time. You know, that's pretty cool. All right, so for something like this, an upside down dart, I guess I'm going to start from the top and go down. You see why this is weird? It's a little, like, I'm not sure. All right, so this right here is the point. Slide that over. I mean, I'll do this back stitch method where I go back into the dart and then do the back stitch. I won't hand tie down there at the hem, you know? Yeah, they are really great. Hey, Nancy. Yeah, I totally agree, Libby. I don't know much about the Italian company. It's an Italian fabric. I don't know much about the company. Maybe there's more to that Marimekko nod than we know, you know? I mean, I guess it's a dart, but it's really a release tuck. Because, see the top here? Boy, you would really want to make sure you got the correct side of the fabric, you know? I put my pin these kind of like my standard way, and they're not really the right way. Why is that? That's weird. That's not right. I can tell that's not right. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm one off. Uh-oh. I can tell this because when you fold a dart, I don't know if I've ever said this, but when you fold a dart to sew it like this, say you mark it off a little bit, or it wasn't drafted properly and your dart is doing this, right? You have these legs that are not matching up, right? And you have to fight to pull it down to match, and then you're getting torquing. That's either the way you marked it or it wasn't drafted properly. It's most likely the drafting. I hate to say it, but I see that quite a bit, and they don't balance the darts, for lack of a better term. Karma camisole and Frida's short. Oh, I haven't made those. I've made quite a few of hers now. She added sweatpants today, I saw. And then there's kind of a fun stripe down one side if you want. This is the wrong side, right? Yeah. Let's see if this will, because this side was fine. So it was just me. I picked the wrong pin or something. Oh, I don't know what I did. Okay, it's time we'll start up here. Last two darts. And then we're going to go to one of my least favorite things to sew ever. God. I'm having one of those days. Yeah, did you see the very bottom one, Nancy? That solid navy blue one? That one I feel like will be like this one. This one will be like that one, where there's no stitching. It's a lighter weight fabric. It's beautiful. A singlet. That's a tank top, right? What we call a tank top. I called like in my world, a singlet is a running piece of apparel, like for running. I feel very fumbly today, sorry. I don't know why. I can't do it. I have to start up here. I don't know why. Straight line. Come on, straight line, baby. One more. Darts are kind of time consuming, aren't they? Yeah, she went to school in the US. I know, it's pretty fun. When we were... Why is this? I have sewn so many darts that I really just need to sew from the raw to the end. And it's really hard. Okay, I'll just do one like that. But it just means I'm back stitching right here. Maybe I'll go straight along the fold, go back, and then start my dart. It's okay. There we go. This feels a little better though. All right, I need to get rid of all these pins here. There's a lot of them, little stubby things. Someone sent me a package of these as a gift on my Amazon wish list, and I was like, did I order these? The little wish list thing is so funny because, oh God, for a second there I thought I had those on the wrong side. I'll get a package and I'm like, oh, these blades must have been back ordered. I don't remember ordering these. And then it's so subtle. They really need to do a better job of telling you, hey, you got a gift, you know, so that you notice it. Because I think I got a package of blades once and I was like, oh, that's right. These must have been back ordered. And I didn't thank the person. I felt terrible later when I got another gift and I was like, oh, that's what this is. I just hadn't gotten one yet because I don't talk about that. So when I got it in the mail, I was like, you can scan a QR code and send them a thank you. Anyway. I've been starting to use spray starch. You love that one as well. Just look at the pattern. I didn't think I would be interested in this. Yeah. Yeah, that navy blue one. Undergarment tank top for winter. It's autumn in Melbourne. Yeah, okay. Do I ever use spray? I have been starting to use spray starch. I used it a lot in some rolly knits the other day. For this, Michelle, what iron setting? It's 100% viscose. So viscose is like... It's like a rayon, right? Let's look it up. Right? Let's look it up. Yeah, it is. It's said to be the third most commonly used textile fiber in the world. If you've never heard of viscose, you may know it by another name, rayon. It's semi-synthetic. So it's made from trees, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's any better for the environment or for you. Oh, sorry. So yeah, I would use your rayon. You don't have a rayon setting. So I would probably I'll probably keep mine in the higher range but quick, or I would stick in that wool range. Okay. All right, so we have all of our little tucks here. Let's clip these threads now. I'm not one to go back, so I always do all my trimming as I go. I also like it to be done when I'm done. It's like the production sewist in me, you know? I kind of do it as I go, and then that way I don't have to go back and do anything. There are certain things I'm like, I gotta go back and fix that, but that's because I need to put it aside. All right, one more. So the back is on the fold, the front is 2 separate pieces, and then the zipper is on the side zip, and it's an invisible zipper. If you're right-handed, you want to put a visible zipper on your left side. Let's see, this is the center front there. So if this is it right here. And then this one here. So this we're going to put, or it's upside down to you guys. This is the side seam right here. Yeah, I'm going to do a higher setting and go quick, but you can always test a little bit of fabric. What do you usually do with rayon? You don't have a rayon setting? Does mine have a rayon setting? I actually never look. I just use the linen setting for everything. Yeah, mine doesn't have a rayon setting either. It just says linen, cotton, wool, silk, synthetics. It has 3 brackets, and that's about it. Yeah. All right, so we've got our invisible zipper. And you know, I think I'm going to add a little bit of interfacing to the side seam here for the zipper. And I'm also going to look at, does it go through the hem? On left side, insert zipper below double notches. Okay. And it calls for a 9-inch zipper. I always try and look, because sometimes I'll use like a 14-inch instead of a 9-inch, and then I realize, oh, I need to start lower down. So yeah, Michelle. So yeah, I mean, I would check it for sure. Yeah, that's exactly. I would probably go down to that wool setting. This kind of fabric, it's not going to be iron heavy either, you know. All right, so let's get a little piece of interfacing, and then we'll iron it to, well, I'm going to be ironing this, and I feel like interfacing would probably be the most heat you would add. So we have all these little tucks that we can iron as well. So we have this one here. I'm going to do the interfacing because this fabric is so wiggly, wormily, you know, that it'll be really nice to have a, what is my iron doing? Do you guys hear that? I overfilled it, and so it's really unhappy with me right now. I want it to be a little bit more stable. So if I'm putting the zipper below, there they are, okay. Interesting. Okay, let's get a little piece of, all right, iron. Oof, yeah, it's really unhappy. It's like got the brown stuff coming out right now. Try not to overfill your iron. It's not a good thing. I'm looking for my cutting mat. Here we go. I have a little portable one here. This is my one thing about this iron. I have this Rowenta Professional basic iron, $80. I got it at Target, not fancy. That's probably pretty fancy for Target, to be honest. But my biggest complaint is that it's impossible to see when it's full. There's a max line and it's like, who cares? I can't even see where the water is when I'm pouring it in there, you know? So, I don't know. It's really frustrating. I'm just going to pull up the chat on my phone. Angry iron. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and it's funny. Someone sent me that really great video by, what was the quilt? There was a quilting channel about why your iron can be kind of angry like that. Because mine was angry that day, and that is exactly one of the biggest reasons is if you overfill it. And I filled it earlier, and I was like, oof, I just overfilled that. But I was like, oh, but the good news is I didn't turn it on yet. And it's not like I filled it and I'm trying to get it to be hot right away, because that's also another thing to make it really angry. All right, so I probably should have cut this to curve, but we'll just kind of make do with that. I'll make the interfacing curve instead, like this. Just put a little hinge there. I put this pinking edge because I learned that from Angela Wolf and her invisible zipper video. It'll make it less visible on the right side of the fabric that there's interfacing there. It kind of makes it disappear. And I will be honest, I usually like ironing on interfacing from the fabric side, so I flip it over. Let's see how my iron's doing. All right, let's turn it down a little bit. What interfacing? Oh, this is just a fusible tricot because I have it on this roll, and I love when I need really tiny pieces of using it on this roll. I got it because I thought it was going to be stretchy. It's not. It's only stretchy going across like this. But it's great for waistbands and plackets, and I am constantly, almost every day, I use something off this roll. All right. Yeah, I got that pinking blade like with one of the 40% off coupons from Joann Fabric. Definitely a splurge. But I really love having it. Oof, you are freaking angry. Okay. That looks pretty good. A lot of calcium in my area. A lot of minerals in the water. Nope, it's not because it won't fray. Interfacing shouldn't fray. The wovens can fray a little bit. Hi, Barbara. How's it going? All right, so I have my... Oh, I need to iron the zipper. What did I do with it? Is it on the... Oh, it's right here. Oh my gosh, I couldn't see it at that angle. All right, so it's an invisible zipper. An invisible zipper has this little coil right here, and it curves around, pulling the tape to hide your seam. So you sew in this little like divot, right? But to sew it on, you need to iron the zipper open. So I will say, if you're doing an invisible zipper, it's ideal if you use an invisible zipper that's much longer than what you need it for. And the reason being is that you can't sew across the bottom of an invisible zipper, and so you lose a little bit of your zipper. And so if you need the full length of it, you should get like an 11-inch zipper if you need a 9-inch opening. You know what I mean? Like I can't even iron this down here. And this does call for a 9-inch zipper. The double notches are well, like they're, if you measured the double notches to the hem, that's over this 9-inch amount. So yeah. Yeah, you have to iron it open. It doesn't have to be tricot, Viddy. It doesn't have to be the tricot. I bought it, the tricot, because I thought it was going to be stretchy. But they, like places like here, we have Waywack, and they sell that 3-inch roll. They sell, I think, a 4-inch roll and a 3-inch roll. I can't remember what widths they sell. And they sell like black and white, tricot, woven and non-woven. But it's just the roll. The idea of it being on a roll, big, huge thumbs up. I should have clarified that. Everyone knows my saga about my roll of interfacing. I thought it was going to be stretchy, and I was so disappointed. So, all right. I love that Libby's just talking about fabric from her trip. Okay. All right, so there aren't any instructions in the pattern for attaching your invisible zipper. It just says to use the manufacturer's directions. But I do have, here's my double notch right here. So see, here's my end of my zipper, and here's the end of the blouse. And so, oh, and you want to do it this way. Oof, I almost did that wrong too. You need to do the end of the zipper at the top. You'll be pretty happy if you don't, unhappy if you don't, because you'll, yeah. I've heard of those, but I'm not sure what they are, Viddy. What is it? Someone else explained it to me, so I'm sorry I keep forgetting. So Keezy, I hear people talk about it. All right, so see this zipper, I can sew up to here. This is the double notch and this is the zipper. So I feel like that's just not going to be long enough. You know what I mean? I'm going to look and see if there's any picture. Do we need the zipper tape to line up to the bottom edge? Oh, you stitch up the side seam above and below the zipper. So this is a zipper that is going to be stitched above and below. All right, well, cool. That's great. That's actually good for us. Okay. I wish I would have interfaced a little bit more. But you know, I think I'm going to just bring this down. This is really awkward. You know? Let's sew this one first. It'll be easier. I'm going to line it up like right here. Oh, that's awesome, Viddy. Yep, exactly, Rebecca. Hey, Mullen, how's it going? All right, so I have a feeling I need to change my zipper foot. I'm just going to set my foot here because it's going to probably fall off. But here's my zipper foot, and it's just not wide enough. So if you're doing a invisible zipper and you haven't done it before, I'm probably not going to be the best example for you. I will get it done with my industrial, but I don't have a special foot. And a lot of home sewing machines have a special foot. If mine at least had like a buttonhole groove, that would be really helpful too, but it doesn't. So So I'm going to sew. There's a, where the zipper right now is ironed open, right? And so in between where the zipper is and this tape over here, the weave of the zipper tape is a little bit different. And you want to sew in that little area there, because you want the zipper to roll around and cover your stitches. So if I go slow and I can keep my foot onto the zipper, it'll probably be okay. So you won't be able to go all the way down your zipper. This is why I say if you need one that's longer, or if you need like the full amount of your zipper, get a longer zipper, because see, you can't really sew all this. I can't close it and sew it either, because then the zipper has rolled over that spot there. You can't sew over that. Trust me, I've tried. Hey, Katya. Yeah, the special foot is great. I've bought that package for my home machine and it didn't work. So when you buy an invisible zipper, you can get a, it's like a fits all sewing machines kind of invisible zipper foot package, and it didn't fit mine. I have a Bernina. I'm surprised because I think Bernina is pretty standard. Maybe I was just doing something wrong. So yeah, you have that special foot. That's great. Oh, you know what else I want to say? That the side seam didn't say to be finished first, I don't think. See, it shows a shoulder dart, but I don't see one. Yeah, so you probably would want to finish your side seam first. I'm a little disappointed now. I would have run it through my serger. It actually has a dark gray. That would have been fine, you know? So that was one of the things when I did the poll. What would you want from an honest pattern review? People were like, I want to know when I need to finish the seams. And I get that. It's not something that I struggle with, because in general, I kind of know when I need to finish my seams. You did, Terry? Ooh, I'm very intrigued. But there are times when you're making something like this that's kind of unique. You don't usually have a side invisible zipper on a blouse or a 3-layered collar. You probably want to know, and she does mention it at one point in the instructions, but she only mentions it on one thing. So that would be something you would probably want to do, is to finish your side seams first. I'm just going to pin this. I'm just lining it up right now. Like this. It's very easy to also get your zipper to be kind of confused on the right side and wrong side. So I want to sew with my zipper up. So I'm gonna start from down here, which is kind of weird. But see, I can't get that close to that zipper head. Come on, get in there. Use my awl to hold it. Where'd you find that foot, Terry? Hey, Ray, how's it going? Oh, you put an @ symbol in front of their name, Rebecca. Okay. Oh, cool. New kittens on your favorite channel. That's exciting. Oh, Ray, a new cat showed up at our house the other day. Me and Cricket were by the garage, and because she was visiting this weekend, and we have this little, like a little tiny storage unit behind the garage. They were growing pot in it. And we put like boxes of like stuff, like Michael's grandmother's stuff is in there, you know? And when we were, it's kind of way back behind the garage. And it's attached to it. It's like nice and cool in there too. All of a sudden we hear this meow, meow, meow. There's all this blackberry there, and he was stuck in the blackberry. Like, he heard us, probably wanted to come over and say hi, and he got into the blackberry, and he could not, we could see him because all the leaves are off the blackberry, and it's just all this like pokey bramble. We were like, oh dude. So I got a rake and I lifted up the branches, and he was like, yeah, thank you. And he ran out. He was so sweet, such a lap kitty, really healthy, not very old. Oh, he was adorable. All right, let's see how I did. Ooh. Ooh, that's kind of my best one yet. Not bad. There we go. See, so now it's invisible. Woo, woo. So I saw this great trick. I think Kenneth King did it. He had this, what did he, well, he used a much longer zipper too. I don't think I can do that. All right, so is this notch where am I sewing the side seam to? Is it to this right here? There's a lot of markings. All right, let's start following the directions. Sorry, enough of this. I need to do the shoulders too. All right, so it goes to that circle, and I think that this pin was the circle right there. Okay. Oof. A right side and a left side foot? Really? Hemostat. That's what it was, Aisha. I saw that. Yeah, that was clever. I bet I could get one of those. Yeah, that was pretty smart. This is a 5/8 inch seam allowance. But I'm gonna make sure I line it up with my zipper. Yeah, because if you can get your zipper pulled down there, then you can sew closer to it. Let's see how I did there. Oh, I have a little tuck. What? Why do I have a little tuck? Oh, I see why. This seam is further away from there. Let's get rid of that. My second least favorite thing to do. Taking out stitches on interfacing. Especially this stuff. Yeah, he's really cute, right? I haven't seen him since. But, you know, the whole family, you know, Michael came out. We all played with the kitty. He was like, he looked like a little creamsicle, you know, like an orange creamsicle. I don't have a left and a right side. This is all I have. See, it's very, very narrow. Artery forceps, not hemostats. All right, so let's try and get this so that it's even. Yeah, this is not ideal. kind of doing this in such a backward order. Let's see, can I do it better now? Maybe if so right here. Yeah, see, this is just, it would be really nice if this were like here, right? Get this out of your way so you can get to your seam under here. And the other thing is you really need to make sure that your stitching ends right across from itself. I did this in such a backwards way, and it's because it's on the side of this shirt. You know what I mean? Like if it were on a dress, I would have done it more standard. So let's see here where my stitching is. I can't even see it. It's right here. And let's see where this one is. See, this one's a little bit longer. See, it's right here. So let's, this is the one I can't make longer, but that would be the easy thing to do, right? Yeah, so what he does is he opens the zipper past the end, right? So maybe you've sewn your seam is usually done, right? And he pulls the zipper through here. He finishes the seam, and then he, from the right side, goes through this hole, grabs the zipper pull, and pulls it up. That's what it would take. I just don't have much room. All the hand sewers out there are like, time to hand sew. Let's see if I can get this sewn a little bit further. I just don't think I can because of the zipper head. I don't really want to take out some of these stitches, but that would be another alternative. So let's do that. I'm going to put a back stitch right here and then take out the others. So I'm shortening one side. There we go. Yeah, my machine just hates sewing these. Okay, we're gonna take out a few stitches here. Get our stitches to line up. This is like one of the cardinal rules of doing a zipper, an invisible zipper foot, is that the stitches end straight across from each other. I told you I wasn't a good, tutorial for this. Let me show you all the things you shouldn't do. Let's get rid of this thread, get rid of these threads here. Let's fix this back stitch a little bit better. Let's start down here to get my sewing legs under me. It's really hard to get back in that spot. There we go, there we go, okay. The back stitch just falls off to the side. Oh well. I've got a back stitch in there though. Alright, so now let's try and get this side seam sewn. This is one thing this would have been a good thing to practice before doing it on the actual. But, you know, that's not how I do the stream, is it? Okay. I'm gonna zip it up. Yeah, you don't get that pucker with his method. It's pretty clever. I don't usually get that pucker either. But I can usually go off the zipper, straight off for a, you know. There we go. There's the end right there. Phew. Because it's a curve, you get this. Because see, this right here is the zipper tape. See? It's going like that. That's what that is. See how the zipper tape, can you see how the zipper tape is doing that? See how the zipper tape is, it's going like this, it's folding itself. That's why you're seeing it on this side here, the rippling. You can't really see it, I guess, but see that? That's the zipper tape poking up. Good night, Viddy. Thanks for coming. You're in Australia, isn't it your morning? Yeah, the cording foot would be great. Yeah, that exactly. That's what I was saying. A buttonhole foot would be really helpful. All right, so let's do our shoulders and our side seams. But the one thing I'm concerned about is that she mentions a dart in the shoulder, and oh, that's right. There is a dart. We talked about that dart. Did I just not mark it? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. What a hot mess. Thanks, Hearts Fabric. I'm sorry. Oh man. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can sew really good. This is my dart right here. This dart I will hand tie. That's so funny. There's a few times where I'm like, what shoulder dart is she talking about? See, this dart right here, it wants to torque a little bit. So let's make sure it doesn't. All right, so I'm gonna go off the end there. Leave a tail. I always hand tie darts. I never backstitch those. Sometimes I will on sturdier fabrics, but I will go into the seam allowance. I don't go on the tip at all. I go away from it. Like that. Hey, Martina. You just miss watching Saremy fumble about today. How are you? At least I'm past my least favorite part. Right? Is this the... Yeah. When I start getting a little bit like stressed lately, oh, this is marked. It's right there. Instantly a song will start playing in my head and get stuck like on the like chorus. This is kind of chronic for me. Like if someone in chat had a really unique name that I can actually say in my head, but I know I'm probably not saying it correctly, that would get stuck in my head and I'll say it over and over again. Kind of slowly drives me crazy. Oh no, don't do that. Why'd you do that? Phoenix. My thread automatically clips. So that's why I'm mad. So I'm gonna back it up a little bit, put a back stitch up here. I can't hand tie that. There we go. It's right here. One of these threads is really fuzzy. This one right here, this bobbin thread. What are you doing, Amy? Ooh, yeah, that's right. You're making your professional clothes. Did you start your new job, Amy? You had to go to orientation first? Orientation for stuff you used to be an expert in? The irony. Like, look at this thread. Can you see how uneven it is? Maybe not. All right. Let's do some shoulder seams. Let's do some pressing. Let's do a nice little palette cleanser of pressing. Window shopping online. Yeah, what would be a good word for that? Are we putting stuff in our cart and not checking out? Is it that kind of window shopping? I try not to do that if I don't plan on buying anything, because then they'll send me emails, you know? I have my cord on the other side right now. I've been finding it easier to iron from that side over there, you know? All right, so we're gonna press these towards the center, all of our pleats and tucks. Towards the center. Just gonna go up to the stitch line, that's it. So that's the wool setting, and it's doing great. I dropped one over here. All right, this is the... No! Oh my gosh. I am gonna call it a day in just a second. What the heck? I'm having a doofus day, you know? Arrgh. Sewing drama. Yeah, exactly. Abandoned cart shopping. This was the sewing fairy, by the way. If you're new here, we believe in the sewing fairy around here. The sewing fairy, she's not very nice. Sorry, sewing fairy. She's not very nice, but it's almost like a passive-aggressive alertness that she has. So she'll be like, you know, I'm going to clip the thread right there, even though you plan on hand tying that, because I'm trying to tell you, you sewed the dart on the wrong side. So, you know, then you get mad about the thread clipping, but you don't go, oh, wait, maybe I did something wrong here. You know what I mean? She's kind of passive-aggressive. She's helpful, passive-aggressive. So she'll help you out in going, I'm trying to tell you something, but I'm not going to tell you. Right? At least I hand tie. This is why you hand tie darts. This is exactly why you hand tie darts. Because taking out a back stitch right there at that point is kind of dicey. You might end up ruining the fabric there. It also kind of creates a point, right? You know, like on a dart like this at the shoulder, not as critical. If it's going, the vanishing point is on a bust, you don't really want to backstitch there. So yeah. Remember, all of my pins for all my darts were on the wrong side, meaning they were on the right side of the fabric, and when I needed them to be on the wrong side. So, and then when I just found that one, I'm like, oh good, this one is marked. I just used it, but it was on the right side of the fabric. It was the only one I hadn't switched to the back. Of course, right? Exactly, Terry. She's like, hello, excuse me, I'm trying to get your attention here. But she doesn't really do that. She just makes you do something else, so then you're really paying attention. Exactly, Libby. You know, when I bought the Bardot brush, the main package, when she had that sale recently, like the whole thing, and it wasn't working to do the purchase for some reason. It was on my end. I think it was my internet at the time because I was at home. So I switched to my desktop because I was like, I don't want to mess around with this. I really want these brushes. I don't want to miss the sale. I think it was her birthday sale. You know, it's like a once a rare thing. So I did it. And because I had it on my iPad, open on my iPad and on the online thing, it kept telling me I had, hey, did you forget this? But the thing is, it doesn't look at it as one thing because it's like the bundle. It looked at it, it's every brush in her shop. So the abandoned cart was kind of crazy. It was like, you forgot you wanted these 5,000 things. And they would list them all. I'm like, but I bought those 5,000 things. It took me 20 minutes to figure out how to download those 5,000 things, you know? Shoot, I tightened this up too much. That was one abandoned cart where I was like, oof, I wish you knew I was the same person. All right. All right, Sewing Fairy, you've had it in for me all day. Move on to someone else. All right, so there's my point right there. I can at least see it. People don't tune in for this. Well, they do. They love the drama. Who am I kidding? Right. Dicey darts. Okay. So I've been thinking about how to finish the seams on this. And I'm kind of split. Like, I feel like this deserves something better than using my serger, you know? Plus the serger thread is a little bulky and you can see the texture of it sometimes in certain seams. So French seams sound like a really great option for this. However, I'm not exactly sure the best way to do them on that center front. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hem my seams instead, you know? Probably don't know because that's probably a weird term, isn't it? All right. Your stretch boxers keep growing. What kind of fabric is it? Is it a linen knit? Because that stuff's downright devilish. Linen knit, man. If there ever was an advanced fabric, a fabric that for advanced sewing, it's linen. Linen knit. All right, so let's see. We need our shoulders. We need our side seams. And see, this doesn't have sleeves, so it has the, doesn't have an armhole with a right angle. So doing a French seam is kind of not the best thing. But I'm going to do it at the shoulder. This is the right side. Maybe I should do this other side seam. So usually when I have this conundrum, see if I do a French seam right here. I lost my pin, that marks it. Then doing the armhole, yeah, it's just better if you can keep it open, the seam, side seam open. All right. So this is the right side. This is the right side. All right. All right, so let's just sew this right here. Right sides together. Oh, I need to do below the zipper as well. Yeah, that's true, Libby. That's a great idea. I mean, I could do that. That sounds so fast. Just sounding pretty darn good right now. Okay, I have this one pin right here. So I'm just going to do this right sides together, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about with the hemming. I did this on my an Amelia dress once, where I just roll hem the seam allowance. Yeah, do you think I should pink it? I'm kind of tempted. I like the vintage idea, the look of the vintage, you know? I could still get in here and pink this, so I'll probably at least do that. What do you guys think? Because right now I was about to do a French seam on the shoulders. No, I mean, Michelle, I can't. I mean, like, I'm going to probably pink that edge right there since I waited too long to do it. I am going to sew this. I'm going to try and sew this. Let's see if I can sew below the zipper here. I probably should spend time getting better at these things. These are just such unique ways to assemble a blouse, you know? It's like not very common. Let's see, can I? All right. All right, that works. Okay. Pinking seems to be very fragile. Well, it is getting a little ravelly. See that? That's what I was thinking, Ray. On the center front, I was actually thinking about hemming it. My seam ripper is my best friend too. He's my buddy. Always by my side. And my all. They got to be buddies because otherwise they'd be jealous of each other. All right, I'm going to do the French seams on the shoulders, and let me think about the rest of it. Yeah, I know. It's kind of it's getting a little bit ravelly. Frayed. It's getting a little bit frayed. I feel pretty safe doing the seams of the shoulders as far as finishing them right now. Some of these others I'm not quite sure when, so I'm gonna do the shoulders for sure. I know it's one of the first instructions is to do the shoulders. The shoulders are kind of stretchy. This will also make it be a little tamer. It would have been nice to have black interfacing, huh? But that'll be okay. Can't see it through it. Yeah, that's what I think. Pinking is, it's okay, right? I mean, you know, like it's not ideal. Okay. Let's go to the iron. I thought about serging it first, Rebecca. I actually did think about that, but I just was kind of like, you know, the thread, my serger thread can be a little thick in some of the colors that I have. I'm going to trim this seam allowance down though. Ooh, that's, could be straighter, eh? Is that straight? Maybe it is straight. It doesn't look like it. Let's do this one first right here. Should have done this before my zipper. I just didn't want to deal with the whole blouse when I was doing the zipper. And if you were using an ironing board, this will be a lot easier, you know? Not the flat felt mat I'm using. I could get my ham out too, you know? That would make it a little easier. Yeah, I mean, pinking can help, Ray, but I don't know. Like, do you ever see those pinked seams that the fray is in the shape of the pinking shear? Yeah, and then the bias definitely helps. What was that? Oh, okay, good. All right, let's fix this ironing now. Look at that. Didn't iron that very good right there. I really immortalized that wrinkle, didn't I? I might go back and make sure that's a straight seam there because it doesn't feel very straight right there. These wishy fabrics, they're not easy. See, I like side zips, Terry, because, you know, like getting them on and off, it's so hard when it's in the center back. And I don't mind it on a dress. don't be discouraged by my sewing of invisible zippers. I've literally sewn like 20 of them in my life. Like, it's just not something I sew a lot, you know? It's a pretty specific thing. And, you know, to be honest, like, when I was first learning to sew, they weren't even, like, you'd only see them on a wedding dress. You know, they just, now they're everywhere, like, instead of a zipper. Yeah, right, exactly. I do a 1/4 inch, Martina, first. See you, Barbara. Have a good one. I do a 1/4 inch first and 3/8 on the second pass. Like slightly under, like 1 thread under each of those, so that, you know, like when it wraps around. Five-eighths is kind of my favorite seam allowance for French seams. It's not my favorite seam allowance for anything else, though. I don't really like, I think it's too wide. But I think 3/8 is too small for a lot of things, too. I like 3/8 on knits, and that's about it. It seems like a lot of European pattern companies like 3/8 of an inch as their standard seam allowance, but that is like, I have to remember to add to do French seams, and I always forget. And then I'm stuck overlocking a seam that I really wanted a French seam, you know? So while I don't like 5/8 seam allowance in some ways, I'm glad that I have more options with it. Oof. Trying to get this straight, but this fabric is the kind of fabric that's kind of like, I'm going to do whatever I want. Yeah, I'm wondering if this would be washed very often. That's why I was thinking, man, the pinking could work. Yeah, and I'll probably do this edge here with pinking along my zipper. I can just pull it away like this and pink it. The zipper will give it some stability as well. All right, so now we have that side seam over here. I don't know why. I'm just not trusting myself to think about, so if I do a French seam there, and then I want to face it with binding, that juncture there becomes a problem. Because it's a slit. Well, I could just use my serger then. Or a zigzag. Yeah, there is less threads in the serger. I don't think my machine has that. It's geared towards quilters. Yeah, Aisha, there used to be more lapped zips, which are a pain in the butt. When I first did an invisible zipper, I'm like, what the heck? Why haven't we been doing this all along? But it's why I haven't sewn very many of them, because they just weren't common. Maybe it was the manufacturing of the zipper. Maybe they were kind of special. I don't even know. All right, so this is the center front right here, right? Yeah, because I just did this here. So what I'm thinking, so here, let me share with you what I'm thinking about, why I know it's going to be hard. So here's my armhole, right? Here's my armhole. Here's my side seam. Here is my armhole, right? So because it's not a traditional armhole with a right angle here, this is a slit. See? It's a slit like this, right? So if I do a French seam, right, that means the seam allowance is like this now. And I'd have to snip it to make it open back up and to be able to sew the binding around it. The other thing is, when you start and stop your binding, you're starting it on this edge here going around. You're not connecting the two. So that's what I'm thinking about right now. So if I hem this, I keep it in that keyhole shape. Let's just try it. I'm going to iron it first. It'll be a little easier. Yeah, don't you think, Aisha? That must be why. That must be why, because they were kind of special and just not very common, you know? Let me just iron the seam a little bit, and then maybe now it'll lay flat. Can you even see this on the camera? You can't really. It's kind of dark over here, huh? All right. So now this will be a little easier to hem, just because I ironed it flat. Yeah, that's actually a good bet, Libby. It could be also the rise of overseas manufacturing. You know, that happened since the 80s. All right, so I'm just gonna hem this. It's so dark. Do they really, Leia? Do you mean like the zipper breaks, like it opens? Ooh, that's not good. All right, so this is my armhole right here, right? I'm gonna put the whole top this way, and this is just one layer of my seam allowance. A little bit kind of dicey to not catch your other side. And I'm just gonna roll hem it right in the seam allowance. The other thing I could do is bind the seam allowances, but that just adds a little bit of bulk. This is a little tricky, actually. I've definitely had one of my invisible zippers not looking like it's working so good anymore, but I think it was partly me getting a little too big for that dress, and I stitched really close in one little spot. And you know how it's just one of those things where you do that and then you're like, oof, should I take that out right now, or is it going to be a problem? But you know that if you take it out and redo it, you might create a worse problem. So I left it. It wasn't a problem for a long time, but it did end up becoming a problem. All right, now my fabric is a little bit, like the curve right here makes this hem kind of hard. If you have a roll hem foot, you're styling on this. Just run your seam allowances through the roll hem foot and laugh the whole time. Oh my gosh. I've got it, it's like a little bit off right now. All right. Who knew just doing darts and a zipper would take this long? And some side seams. Oh, I should have just prepared this a little better. Okay. Yeah, they get stuck a lot. Yeah, they're not, yeah, I feel like that's what I need to do, Leia, is practice a little bit more on them. It's just one of those things, like, I'll get the hang of it and then I won't touch it for a while, you know? Ugh. That looks kind of terrible. doing it on this curved side seam, I don't know, maybe this wasn't a good idea. Man. One thing you got to say about sewing and vintage is some of the things we've made easier, you know, like armholes and stuff. I don't like this. I'm just not happy with any way I can do this. Because it doesn't have a, you know, a right angle right here. Let me think about this. I mean, because we're going to bind this to the inside like that, right? So it's going to lay flat like that. Look at that, I caught my seam allowance right there. So it'll be like this. The other thing about this is that I have a few dresses I've sewn like this, and I pop it all the time. I might like it once I press it. That's true, Terry. Maybe I should do that. Let me just take out these few stitches right here. All right. Right there. Didn't start very good, did I? Let's see. Get rid of you. I could have pre-ironed that, but I don't know. It sounded like a finger-burning prospect. All right, let's iron it. Let's give it a chance. Hand sewing. I don't know how to hand sew. No, I'm just teasing. I mean, maybe if this were my project and it was like a special thing, maybe I would consider that. But I'm just trying to finish a seam allowance, and that's it right now. Like, I'm not even like that far into the project. Okay, so you're right, Terry. I like that better. I'm gonna iron it a little separately too, like this. Yeah, thanks, Terry. I appreciate that. Okay. So let's look at this one here. I'm just going to fold at least half of it. How's that? That'll help me. I am doing a tiny hem. I'm trying. You know, it's just, I think an overlock is really the best option. And I don't want it to be. or hand sewing, I mean, but it's a seam finish. We're not even like, I did the French seam on the shoulders. Did I just fold that too much? I bet I folded this too much. I did. Let's pull some of it back. A little bit. Yeah, it really does, Terry. That and like, you know, trimming all your threads. It's like, you know, like when people finish their first project and they're really hard, I'm like, okay, before you do anything, trim all the threads and iron it. You know, it's like makes a huge difference. And don't stare at it. You know, like leave the room and come back and look at it. No, it's not that bad of an idea to serge it. I like doing French seams. Right? It's so true, Ray. All right, let's see. Oof. Ironing was not the greatest idea, probably. I think I ironed that just a little too wide, you know? So here's my other thing that I like doing sometimes is I will hem it to the garment. So I've done this before where I just hem it straight to the garment, right? And so then there would be a stitch on this side. That looks really nice. I like that. It looks really flat. It makes your seam allowance always pressed open, right? On this kind of thing, I think that wouldn't be the nicest finish, you know? But if you're doing something that's not really like fancier fabric, what I would suggest is hemming it to the garment. Because look at this, I can just fold this over here, right? And then stitch it down. You'd see 2 stitch lines, one on each side of the seam, and it keeps it nice and flat. Yeah, the serging, I mean, yeah. All right, let's see, can I do it? Can I sew something this small? I'm not known for sewing this tiny little stuff here. Let's see if we can do it. Get my awl out. Good thing I put that tinier needle in, or smaller. It's not even a tiny needle. It's just a size 12, which is most everybody's regular size. Okay, yeah, the ironing did help. Can you please stay on the table? Come on. Let's get rid of some of these threads. Okay. All right. I'm try-harding. Sorry. Come on. These notches are going to be the end of me here. Right. Your sister. All right. I will definitely side with everybody on the poll when I asked about, you know, when they said, I wish they would tell you when to finish the seams. I think I would side with them on this one. All right, where's the end? I think it's right there. Holy moly, that was a little painful. All right. Such dark fabric too, you know? All right, so now I'm just gonna make sure I didn't catch anything. Okay. Finger pressing does count. This one actually looks nicer, the one I pressed first. Doesn't look like it though. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? So now we have the shoulders done. We have one side seams finished. The other one has the zipper, and I'm gonna pink that one. This is how it's looking. Ooh, the colors look kind of nice right now. A little wrinkle there. So now we're at the collar stage. It's like 1 o'clock right now. So let's assemble some collars and then we'll leave the rest. So we're going to do our center back seam of the collars. And then we're going to join them. And you go around. You leave the notched edge open. Trim seams notched open. Okay, let's do it. I need some success before I end today's stream. This is like the longest one. Okay, let's throw all our binding aside here. Okay, so here's the middle. So I am doing it where I'm going to use this sheer black as an interfacing. I'm not using a fusible because this collar is best when you embellish it with a bunch of stitches, and I'm not doing that. They sent a fabric where they didn't want it embellished. Just did some interfacing if I wanted, but I just decided to use a lightweight fabric instead. So we're going to sew across the center back seam right here. Center seam of the collar right here, right sides together, and then we're going to sew around this perimeter just along this edge. It'll be an open collar. This has a notch here. All these pieces kind of came down. Let's stack these up one more time though. I just need these stacked up. I don't care about those. All right, let's make sure we got our notches. Why does that look longer now? Look at that. Oof. All right. Let's see. This is the right side and wrong side. There isn't a top collar, under collar. Okay, so we're going to do this one to this one first. Rayon is at least a little thicker, even though I know this is also a rayon. 5/8 seam. Don't care about the seam finishing on this because it's on the inside of the collar. I don't have to worry about it now. All right, and then this one, let's put it right sides together, same thing. This is a project that was provided to me by a fabric store called Hearts Fabric here in California. And they will send me a project. Usually I more than competently sew it together. And then I send it back to them. And they hang it in their store. And then people can, you know, if they're the right size, they can try it on and see what they think. And people can see it in person. It just advertises fabric and the pattern. They are the ones that are right here, Hearts Fabric. They actually have a discount code for you guys too, which is always good. And you can buy anything you want. I know you're a little far away for that though. Let's iron these. I don't think finger pressing is going to do it on this. This fabric is so funny how it has a mind of its own, and then you press it and it's like, okay. You know, like instantly. It's like, sure, I'll do that and I'm going to do it forever, so don't press wrong. You know? All right, so now we have our collar here, and we're gonna lay it right sides together. I often used to not use fusible interfacing. I would only use an interlining like this. And I just held it like it was one. All right, so do I go across the end here? I don't think so, because I think the seam allowance is actually going to go like this to that point. Might be big enough. Let's see. Oh, close. It's like right here. All right, so let's line this up. Got my machine helping me here. Line this up. See, something like this that now I'm like, ooh, 5/8, kind of a big seam allowance, right? All right. But definitely try and keep your stitching for your collar nice and even so that it's symmetrical. Let's see, is that 5/8? Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Oh no, I'm not nowhere near that. Okay. It's kind of hard to see. I really got to go. Let's see, I'm going to use my... trying to find that pivot point there. That'll work. Okay, that'll work. Okay, Libby. I doubt it. Enjoy your class. But I'll be here Saturday, finishing it up. I just thought I'd prep the collars before I go today. Exactly, Rebecca. Yeah, totally understandable. Yeah, I like to think of it as like that'll pay for the shipping, which is nice, but it wouldn't to where you're living. All right. This fabric is super wiggly, just like any good rayon, right? All right, so I'm gonna draw in this 5/8 to find my pivot. I think that this is marked on the pattern. There we go. Want to make sure I'm symmetrical for these fantastic collars. Get over there. Why are you doing that? All right. Well, look at that. Oh, it looks like you stop at a circle there. Oh, interesting. Oh, you stop right there. Well, shoot. Sorry about that. So you stop right here. Take out my stitches a little bit. It'll all make sense soon. Hi, Elena. How's it going? Yeah, I'm just doing the collars. I've been struggling a little bit today. I have not been the most graceful or competent looking sewist. been try-harding a lot, you know. That's why I've been quiet. Sewing Fairy tried to help me out once. Ignored her. Paid for it. It's been one of those kinds of projects. It's nothing on the pattern or the fabric, though. It's me. There we go. All right. Yeah, definitely, Michelle. I definitely like smaller seam allowances on collars in general, but I'm definitely not, you know, that's a lot of people don't agree. Like they do like the bigger seam allowances. So I think that's just a personal preference, but I'm going to trim them down. I'm going to cut the points too. I'm also going to go over this seam right here because I just went like my back stitch of the seam on this seam right here. I just cut it off, you know, so I'm going to make sure it doesn't like creep up in there. This fabric is so satisfying to cut. Like in my scissors, this many layers, oof, is yummy. All right. So I'm going to trim these corners, these points. I'm hoping that I got a good collar for my outer collar, because look at this one here. This one has all this print on one side and it's dark on the other, but there are collars on top of it, so I'm not going to worry about it. Right, Heidi? Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of that today. All right, so I think I'll clip this curve a little bit right here. Try-harding because invisible zippers, not my jam usually. Plus doing it on this fabric on a side seam. Eeh. Let's see. I don't think I need to clip this. All right, so we can turn that and press it. So let's look at these right here. This is the middle collar. So we want to go around the swoopy side and the short side here, and again to the circle on the pattern. I don't think I have these notches clipped, so I'm going to clip them right now while it's still all pinned together. So again, we're going to go across this side and down to this little circle here. How are you doing, Heidi? All right, so these two are outer. This is the, let's pick. What do we think? I think these two are the most similar to each other. So let's put these on in the middle. Okay. Because I'm thinking if it's a nice solid dark, the top collar sitting on it will have this nice outline of dark, you know? All right. Right side, right side. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm keeping my right sides, keeping track of them. This is right sides together, and this is, wait. Oh yeah, that's right sides together. Okay. All right, and we're gonna go across this and down the swoop. This is a separate collar. It's not attached. They're not attached to each other like the first one we did was. Yeah, especially when you're short on fabric, absolutely. It can add up. Let's get a visual on that circle. So it's like right there in the middle. All right. Obviously, pins would probably help, you know. I don't have anything against pins. I just find that I spend so much time fiddling with them that I might as well just fiddle, and I use my machine as kind of like the helping hand, you know. What I'm finding is that the outer fabric is growing a little bit, whereas the inner lining did not. So let's trim this, and we'll trim this point while we're here. I don't lop off my corners anymore. Sometimes it's just not enough, and I have to end up going back in there and trimming a little bit more. So now I just trim around it. Just get it all done at the same time, you know? All right. Okay, just making sure I have a left and a right. Okay. Get on there. Yeah, that's about right. See, look at this. You saw me cut these. I was pretty careful. Pinned for the first time ever. Most rayons do that though. Linens, same thing, right? They kind of grow after you cut. Probably want to trim that curve in there or clip it. Right in here. I didn't trim my seam allowance very even there. This one here. All right, these are my middle ones. Is it easy to tell my middle from my bottom? No, not at all. Make sure you're keeping track at this point. This is when that trick where you put threads, tie threads to the corner and then pull it. That would be a good time to use this trick. It's such fine fabric, you know. Yeah, 5/8 inch is a lot. It's like 1.25 inches. And if you think about every pattern piece that has it, it does add up. All right, so I'm gonna iron these two, and then I'm gonna call it because I'll do this one on Saturday. This way I can really make sure I can keep straight which collar's which. I was gonna sew it, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just wait. we'll get these pressed and looking good, and then we'll just do our bottom one. Well, this is the bottom collar. Yeah, that's the only one we have left. When I use my awl for doing points, I'm actually pinching pretty hard with my thumb and fingers here because I don't want it to pull out too quickly. Otherwise, what happens, you could pull out too much and then you're pulling out the threads. Ooh, that's a nice point there. So I kind of stab it in deep and then I just push. I push it like above, like this, so that it's kind of poking it out. And if it doesn't, if you just can't get a point, sometimes I push the whole thing back and then I try again and try and grab from a different spot. Yeah, my scissors are liking that fabric when it's that many layers. It was very satisfying. All right, so let's iron this so that we're going to iron the inside. So this is the inside of it. And I'm just going to press that seam allowance in there. Doesn't matter what way, I'm just going to iron it. Kind of like I'm doing a French seam. And then it makes it nice and flat here, and it'll make it want to iron so that it's right on that edge a little better. Because this fabric is kind of crepey, I would say. And so because of that, it doesn't like slide between your fingers when you're trying to wiggle it. Or trying to slide it, I should say. All right. I think this is the outer collar. Let's focus on this side then. Has anyone else done a Decades of Style pattern before? Which ones have you done? They're all so fun. Sometimes I'll see one and I'm like, oh, I don't know, that's kind of unique. And then I'll see someone like in the hashtag who's sewn it and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. People are pretty creative what they do with their patterns. All right, there's one. All right, same thing with this. Let's iron it from this side. We're just going to press that seam allowance one direction. Let's see, can I get more? I want more. Let's see. All right. Ray, thank you. You didn't have to do that. It's like the worst I've sewn ever. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're always so sweet. And congratulations on the new kittens on the Tiny Kittens channel. I love that you guys are both watching that. This right here. So yeah, I'm just going to press it open. Get that color. The smoother curve right here. Oh, you did, Malin? I think I remember that. Yeah, those are fun. I would like to make another pair of those, and I'm wondering how much higher I could raise the rise. I think I could get away with it. You know, the Mountain View pull-ons, those are higher rise. All right. Press the seam. You can also like press this open. That you can do that too. It's just more fiddly, right? Because I have to get my fingers in here and then press it open. So I just press it to one side. It's better than not doing it at all because it makes a difference. Terry, you guys are human. Gosh, I mean, some of the stuff you guys are sewing, I'm like, wait, why don't they have a YouTube channel? Coolly, you don't have to even be a good sewist to have a YouTube channel, right? So all you good ones out there. It's just about sharing our excitement for it. This is the undercollar. Stops. It's almost easier to press on the undercollar, and that's why I keep gravitating towards it. This is the top collar. So let's, oh, that is the top collar. Oh, good. It's just dark on this side. But this is the, is this really the top collar? Wait, I thought this one was the bottom one and then all the collars sat on top of it. Huh. Just now realizing that. Hey Anna, how's it going? Welcome. Thanks for coming back. You've just missed me kind of fumbling this whole time. I've definitely been making my life harder today. I'm just going to finish ironing up these two collars. I've left one set to sew for Saturday. We got the invisible zipper in and shoulders and side seams and all the darts and pin tucks. So we're left with the big shebang, all these collars. Wait. Oh, this is the top collar. Okay, that makes more sense. This is the top collar. All right. No, I mean, like, this is the one that shows to the world. It's been a day there, too. What have you been working on? You know, I think that this this blouse in like a lightweight lawn or yeah, like one of the art gallery lawns, I think that would be really nice. Less fiddly. See, I just focused on getting my collar not to show to the wrong side, and now it's the wrong. This is the side I want to show. So, whoops. Like I said, this fabric has a mind of its own, and then you iron it, and it's like, okay, I'll do that. Now I have to like go back and fix this a little bit. Over rotate it here a little bit. We got this. The kids are taking turns throwing tantrums. Can't they do it in sync? I mean, come on. Get it over with all at once. One time I used peer pressure on my daughter to get her to stop throwing a tantrum. I know, I'm not proud of it, but it worked really good because her friend was going through this phase of these really epic tantrums. They were kind of crazy. Ugh, don't use a pin to do that. It's kind of dangerous. I'm not going to do it. It was like it was epic. Like on the scale of tantrums, it was pretty epic, and it was very dramatic and ostentatious, you know, the whole thing. And she threw in at my house because I wouldn't give her a second popsicle, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is an intense phase, you know, poor parents, you know. And so my daughter saw this, and it kind of worked well for this kid with her parents, right? So my daughter tried doing it, and it just like, my daughter threw tantrums. So like, she wasn't like, you know, not doing that, but she had never done it like this. And so she tried it out, and I just remember it was just so strange to see her do it. And I just said, "You look like Sophie." And as soon as I said that, she stopped, like mid tantrum. It was like a comic, you know. It was hilarious. She did not want to look like that. Like when she saw her friend doing it, she was like, "Whoa, that is crazy," you know. They were like 6 years old, 5 years old, something like that. She never did it again, though. Not like that. That was pretty funny. Oof, that is some bright. Here, let me put some stuff on the... Okay, so here's all my collars. All right. This is the top. Yeah, so it's going to go like that, right? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. This is the top collar because all of these will get sewn behind it. I don't quite understand how. Exactly. The Calgon moment, right? Yeah, it looks great when it's pressed, huh? Yeah, that was so funny. Just the whole like I normally wouldn't have said something like that. It just came out my mouth because it was just like, I was like, "Whoa, you look like Sophie," and I was all, and she just was like, "Ha," and she just was like, didn't know what to do with herself. It was really cute and funny. And then, you know, like, I think later on that day she brought it up. She was like, "Why do you think Fofi does that?" I was like, "I don't know." I mean, I probably did explain why, but anyway. Thanks for hanging with me today. I know I struggled a little bit. It all comes together in the end, right? We're starting to see these magnificent collars. But look, I have this really dark one over here and this light one here. Do you think that's going to be a problem? You know? Could I flip it? I mean, I have a little tip there. What do we think? I've been trying to lay these collars on top of each other. So I'm wondering, do you match up the notches? Maybe. Maybe that's how it goes. There's not notches here though, unless you do this. Oh, maybe that's it. Single notch to single notch, double notch to double notch, like that. That actually looks like the pattern. It's so bright. You guys are like, nah, it's a feature. Like that. Because it'll be up here, right? So it'll be like this, I think. Right there. And what's the double? Where's the single? The single's right here, like that. Yeah, maybe Michelle. How are the flowers looking on the shirt? We could lay it on the shirt, huh? Let's see. I didn't do the center front seam yet. Let's pin this together. These pins are so long, I really don't like them. I really like these too. I got these in a fabric godmother box by Bohin, B-O-H-I-N. They're pretty chunky too, and they're the right length and they're a ball. So those I've actually been grabbing a lot lately too. All right, let me put the blouse on there so I can stop blinding you too. All right. Here is the blouse. Oh, see, it's dark on this side too. Okay. Oh, that's funny. So it would be like something like this, maybe? It kind of gets lost in there. I'm not sure if I'm lining this up in the right spot, to be honest. But it's close, because there's the center back seam right there. So it goes about right here, like this. So here's the collars. This right here may need to... No, that's probably where it goes. I don't know, you guys. It kind of blends in. But, you know, this is the one with the dark right here. That's actually not, like, too bad. And then we have this bottom one. That could end up being under it right here and here. Yeah. Oh, I have it flipped over. Jeez. This is just my day. Here, this is how it's supposed to look. There we go. Okay, so this is where it's at right now. I would like to blame this on hunger, but it's just, it's not. I'm just a doofus today, okay. All right, that's kind of what we're looking at here. I think it'll be fine. I have the brightness up so high so you can see this background. This is more of like a Pepto-Bismol pink in a good way. This is like a gold. Definitely a hot tomato red. This looks pretty accurate though on the camera. Not bad. Yeah, I think the second way is better too, Ray. I could iron this better though. So we'll work on that before Saturday. Right here. Cool. Phew. Survived. You guys survived. All right. Well, I'll be sewing the other collar and then the collar to the blouse. Figuring out how that goes together at the center front because I'm not quite sure. So we're going to do a binding finish and there's a back neck facing as well. Binding neck finish between the shoulders and center front. Back neck facing and a binding on the armhole. So lots of fun stuff left. I really want to sew this in a cotton right now because I think it'd be really satisfying. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks for sticking it out. Thanks, hearts, too. And Decades of Style. Such fantastic pattern and fabric. Sorry, I'm kind of like, you know. All right. I'll see you guys Saturday. Thanks for coming. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I was going to wear my green dress, but nope, I can't today. It's too cold. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I hope I can wear it too. I hope it fits me. Maybe it'll at least fit my dress form. Yeah, thanks for coming, Rebecca. Thanks for the donation, Ray. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys Saturday. Have a good Friday. Where's my thumbnail? Bye. Whoops.